In Chapter 1, we built a graph. 3 fields of state, 2 nodes, and 1 conditional edge that made it loop. Everything worked. Now let us make it slightly more useful and watch it break. Our research assistant needs notes. So we add a field called notes, a list of strings, plus a second search node. One of them searches the documentation. The other searches blog posts. Each returns a note, run it, and a single note comes back, not 2, 1. Nothing crashed, no warning appeared. The first note was simply gone. Here is what happened. Both nodes wrote to the same key. When 2 writes land on one key, LangGraph has to decide what that key should hold afterwards. By default, it keeps the newest write and throws the older one away. For a topic string, that rule is exactly right. You want the newest topic. Applied to a list of notes, the same rule quietly destroys your work. This is the most common bug people hit in their first week with LangGraph. It is not a flaw in the framework. The mistake lives in the schema, and the schema is the part almost nobody thinks about. So Chapter 2 is about the thing your whole agent stands on, not the nodes and not the edges, the state. By the end of this video, you will know what really happens when a node returns a value, why every key in your schema is something called a channel, and how one line of annotation turns that lost node into a list that grows correctly, even when 2 nodes write at the very same instant. Before we fix anything, we need to be precise about what a node actually does, because if you believe a node changes the state, everything after this will confuse you. A node receives the current state. It returns a dictionary. That dictionary is not the new state. It is a patch, a set of changes, and LangGraph applies it for you. Watch what that rules out. Here is a node that is signed straight into the state it was handed. It sets topic to the word hacked, then returns an empty dictionary. Run the graph, and topic still says LangGraph. The assignment did nothing because a return value is the only channel through which a node can speak. Here is what it rules in. Our scoring node returns just one key, score. Topic and notes are never mentioned inside it. After the run, both are exactly as they were. Untouched keys stay untouched. That is the whole update protocol. Return what changed. Say nothing about the rest. 2 things follow from it, and they matter more than they look. First, a node is testable on its own. Give it a dictionary, check the dictionary it hands back, no graph required. Second, and this is the one that pays off later, every change your agent makes becomes an explicit, recorded event instead of an invisible side effect. Something wrote this key at this step with this value. Persistence, time travel, and streaming all sit on top of that fact. None of them would be possible if nodes simply reached in and edited the state in place. So why did that note disappear? To answer it, we have to look at what compile actually built. When you hand a typed dict to StateGraph, LangGraph does not merely remember the field names. Each field becomes a channel. A channel is a small object with 2 responsibilities: holding a value and deciding what happens when somebody writes to it. That second responsibility is the interesting one. Every channel carries a rule, and by default the rule is called LastValue. Its logic is 1 line long. A write replaces whatever was there before. Let me make that visible. Both search nodes now print the notes list on the way in. The first sees an empty list and writes 1 note. Its neighbor sees exactly that note and then overwrites it. Our third node sees only the survivor. Nothing is broken here. LastValue did precisely what it promises. The mistake was ours, for accepting a default that was never right for this particular key, and this reframes the whole problem. You are not declaring variables when you write a schema. What you are really doing is configuring a small set of concurrent channels and choosing a merge policy for each one. A topic wants LastValue, counters want addition, lists of notes want appending, conversations want something smarter still. LangGraph gives you LastValue for free because it is the safest possible guess. Every other policy you have to ask for, and the place you ask is the schema, which is exactly where we are going next. Here is the fix. 1 import and 1 annotation. We bring in annotated from typing, plus the add function from the operator module. Then the notes field changes from a plain list of strings to annotated. List of strings, add. Read that as 2 separate statements. The first half, list of strings, is for your type checker. What follows it, add, is for LangGraph. Anything you place after the type inside an annotated is metadata. and LangGraph reads that slot looking for a reducer. So what is a reducer? A function of two arguments. The value the channel holds right now, and the value a node just returned. Whatever comes back becomes the new channel value. That is the entire contract. Calling add on two lists concatenates them, so the first note stays, the second joins it, and both survive. Notice what did not change. The node bodies are identical, and so are the edges. A single line in the schema rewrote the behavior of the whole graph, and because a reducer is only a function, you can write your own. Here is one that skips duplicates and keeps just the newest 3 notes, so a research loop cannot grow the state forever. 6 lines of ordinary Python and you can call it directly in a test without building a graph at all. That is the real lesson of this chapter. Merge policy is not framework magic hidden somewhere in a library. It is a function you own, sitting in your schema, right next to the field it governs. Everything so far ran in a straight line, one node after another. Reducers look like a convenience there. Change the shape of the graph though and they stop being optional. Watch this. Instead of chaining the 2 searches, we point both of them at start. 2 edges leave start, so both searches run at once, inside the same step. LangGraph calls that a superstep. Every node in a superstep sees the same input state, runs in parallel, and returns its patch. Then all of the patches are applied together. Run this version with a plain list, and it does not silently pick a winner. It raises InvalidUpdateError, and the message tells you exactly what it wanted. A keynotes can receive only 1 value per step. Read that carefully because it explains the default. In a sequential graph, 2 writes arrive at different moments, so LastValue can order them and quietly discard the older one. Inside a single superstep, there is no order to appeal to. Nothing in the framework can guess whether you meant to keep the first, the second, or both. So it stops. Now put the annotation back. Same 2 nodes, same fan out, same start, and it runs with both notes present. That is the deeper reason reducers exist, not tidiness. Parallelism. Anytime you fan out to searchers or workers or subgraphs reporting into a shared key, your reducer is the thing that turns a race condition into a merge you defined on purpose. There is one reducer you will use more than all the others put together, and it ships inside LangGraph. Add messages. Chat history is a list, so you might reach for add and move on. Appending really is most of what you need. But a conversation has a second requirement that plain concatenation cannot express. Sometimes you do not want a new message, you want to replace one that is already there. Add messages handles both. Give it a message with a fresh identifier and it appends. Send one carrying an identifier already in the list, and it swaps that entry in place, leaving everything around it untouched. Here is the reducer on its own, called exactly the way the runtime calls it. Current list, update, result. 2 different identifiers and we get 2 messages. The same identifier twice, and we get 1 message with new content. That replacement rule is not a detail, it is the mechanism behind editing an agent's history, correcting a tool call before it executes in Chapter 7, trimming an old conversation so it fits the context window in Chapter 6. None of that works if history can only grow. Add messages also normalizes whatever you give it. Hand it a plain string and it becomes a human message. Pass a dictionary in the standard chat format and it becomes a proper message object. And because the pattern is so common, LangGraph ships a ready-made schema called MessagesState, which is exactly 1 field annotated with this exact reducer. One last piece, and it is about boundaries. As an agent grows, the state grows with it. Raw search results, retry counters, scratch values that exist only so one node can hand something to the next. Your caller should not have to know about any of that and should certainly not have to supply it. So state graph takes 3 schemas, not 1. The internal state, which is every channel your nodes need, an input schema, which is what invoke will accept, and an output schema, which is what invoke will return. Here, the internal state has 4 fields. Input is a single field, topic. Output is a single field, summary. The caller writes invoke with just a topic and gets back just a summary. That raw list and the attempt counter still exist while the graph runs. Both are simply invisible at the edges. Hidden fields like those are called private channels. They are real. They persist for the length of the run and they keep the public surface of your agent small. So, Chapter 2 in 4 sentences. A node returns a patch, never a mutation. Every key in the schema is a channel with a merge rule. The default rule is LastValue and a reducer replaces it. Input and output schemas decide what the outside world can see. Get the state right and the rest of LangGraph becomes straightforward. Leave it wrong and you will spend your evenings hunting nodes that vanish. Next up, Chapter 3. Nodes and edges in depth. Command, send, dynamic fan out and how parallel branches really merge.